Hey guys, today I have a book haul to share with you. So let's get going into this book haul. I decided to do something a little different because usually I have it set up over here on my desk and I show the books that way, but I kind of didn't really feel like doing that setup today. So yeah, I'm just going to kind of go through the books like I usually do, but I'm going to be in the video this time. Yeah, I got 20 books to share with you guys. I'm very excited for all of these. Hopefully I get to them sometime in the near future. So yeah, let's get going, you guys. First up, I have American Royals by Katharine McGee, and this is a young adult novel. And this premise, you guys, this is something I normally probably wouldn't pick up because it is contemporary young adult fiction. I usually don't really like contemporary young adult fiction, but the premise of this really caught my attention. This book, it's basically a what-if scenario. And yeah, it kind of goes back to the American Revolutionary War, that if George Washington had not become our president, but if he had become our king instead. So yeah, we would have had like, you know, like the House of Tudor or the House of Bourbon, you know, we would have the House of Washington in America. So yeah, that's what this book is that it's kind of going back in time, almost like what if Washington had become our king instead of our president. And yeah, we lead up here to this contemporary setting, the House of Washington. We have a monarchy. And yeah, this is following a young woman named Beatrice. And yeah, she's about to, I guess, become Queen of America. And there's just something so interesting about this premise, because obviously we don't have a monarchy here in America, but it's very intriguing and interesting. I'm very curious where this is going, and yeah, I think it's supposed to be a series, like a duology or a trilogy, I believe. So yeah, I can't wait to get to this first book and see how it goes. Next, I have Loki, Where Mischief Lies by Mackenzie Lee, and this is actually a book I have already read and reviewed here on my channel. So yeah, if you want to know more about it, go check out the review. But yeah, this is a young adult book by Mackenzie Lee, focused on Loki, the god of mischief from the Marvel comics, the Marvel movies, whatever. Yeah, I don't think this is really supposed to be focused on the movies, because I don't think this is supposed to be like Tom Hiddleston's portrayal. This is, I think, more based off of the comic version of Loki, because yeah, this is a version of Loki too that's more of a teenager, you know. And yeah, this was really good, you guys. I was very pleasantly surprised with this book and the direction it went and kind of the nuances of it and the maturity. It was seriously very fun. If you love the character of Loki, this is a must. And you guys, I finally got my hands on this book. This is Downton Abbey. What does it say down here? A celebration. This is the official companion to all 6 seasons. 6 seasons? Good lord, it had that many seasons? I don't remember sitting down and watching that many seasons, you guys. But yeah, this is just a companion book. Let me see if I can kind of flip through it here. But yeah, just full of, you know, pictures and stuff. Just talking about the show, going through some details, going through the characters, you know. Yeah, I love Downton Abbey, you guys. I sorely missed it. I was so thrilled when that Downton Abbey movie came out last year, because I was like, I am heading there, like, that opening week, which I think I did. So yeah, if you're a Downton Abbey fan, definitely pick this up. I can't wait to get to this and skim through it. Next up, I have a classic in the horror genre, and this is The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. And yeah, this does have the Netflix TV cover tie-in, whatever. But yeah, if you know anything about this book and the Netflix show, they are kind of two completely separate different things. So yeah, don't let this cover fool you. Don't think that you're reading an adaptation of, you know, the Netflix TV series, because it's not. The TV series is really just kind of loosely inspired by the book in some ways. But yeah, The Haunting of Hill House is definitely a classic when it comes to the horror genre. I've always wanted to get my hands on this, and yeah, it is. It's just a very short book too. Won't take too long to read. And yeah, this is just about a group of 4 people who come to this house called Hill House, obviously. And yeah, trying to unravel the secrets of the house, and there's just a lot of craziness, a lot of weird stuff going on. Can't wait to get to it. Next up, The Secret Wife of Aaron Burr by Susan Holloway Scott. This is historical fiction taking place, I think maybe during the Revolution, the American Revolution, maybe after, perhaps. Yeah, let me read some of the synopsis to you guys. He was a hero of the Revolution, a brilliant politician, lawyer, and very nearly president, a skillful survivor in a raw new country filled with constantly shifting loyalties. Today, Aaron Burr is remembered more for the fatal duel that killed rival Alexander Hamilton. But long before that single shot destroyed Burr's political career, there were other dark whispers about him, that he was untrustworthy, a libertine, a man unafraid of claiming whatever he believed should be his. And then, yeah, that's kind of focused there on Aaron Burr. But then, yeah, the next bit, sold into slavery as a child in India, Mary Emmons was brought to an America torn by war. Toughened by the experiences of her young life, Mary is intelligent, resourceful, and strong. She quickly gains the trust of her new mistress, the Theodosia Provost, something like that, and becomes indispensable in a complicated household filled with intrigue, especially when the now widowed Theodosia marries Aaron Burr. So yeah, obviously there's going to be some scandal, you guys. Some scandal in early America, which is always great. Next up, The Widow of Pale Harbor by Hester Fox. Takes place in Maine, 1846. Gabriel Stone is desperate to escape the ghosts that haunt him in Massachusetts after his wife's death, so he moves to Maine, taking a position as a minister in the remote village of Pale Harbor. But not all is as it seems in the sleepy town. Strange and unsettling things have been happening, and the townspeople claim that the only one person that could be responsible is Sophorina Carver, a reclusive widow who lives with a spinster maid in the eerie Castle Carver. Sophorona, God, this is a very difficult name to pronounce. She must be a witch, and she almost certainly killed her husband. So yeah, this sounds awesome, you guys. I do love 1800s historical fiction. Next up, Ribbons of Scarlet, and this is historical fiction, taking all of the story. There's a series of short stories in here. Let me begin there. This is a series of short stories, all compiled by a bunch of different women in the historical fiction genre, of many on here that I've read, and yeah, they all take place during the French Revolution, which sounds so awesome, guys. Yeah, just to list some of these names, let me kind of spin this around. Yeah, we have Kate Quinn, Stephanie Dray, Laura Camoe, Sophie Pernot, Heather Webb, E. Knight, and yeah, the thing at the beginning of this, there's a foreword by Alison Pataki, who I love. So yeah, this sounds right up my alley, you guys. Does this book really need me to summarize it? It's called Conceal, Don't Feel, and it's by Jean Calanita, is that what it says? Jean Calanita, something like that. And yeah, the premise of this, up here at the very top, what does it say? It says, what if Anna and Elsa never knew each other? Oh my God. This book is part of a series of Disney books that have been released like on a yearly basis, and they all kind of pose a what if scenario, a what if question, something that will dramatically change the events of the Disney story that you know. And yeah, this one is obviously focused on Anna and Elsa from Disney's Frozen. This is so good. Oh, look at the cover. Ooh, it's so shiny. I got distracted by the shiny cover. This sounds so good. I love Frozen. Can't wait to get to that. And yeah, guys, the next, is this 5 books? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, I can count. The next 5 books here all come from the Poldark series by Winston Graham. I am a huge fan of the British television series Poldark, starring Aidan Turner and Eleanor Tomlinson. I love that show. It is over. It finished its season like last summer, and I've been devastated that it's over, but I do have the complete Poldark collection now, you guys. It's like 12 books in total in the series. So yeah, the next books that I'm hauling are the last 5 books in the series that I've finally got my hands on. And yeah, I'm hoping I can get to this series sometime in the near future. Like I said, it's 12 books, and they're all fairly gigantic books, and that's going to take a long time for me to read, because I want to read it all in like one go, you know. So up first is book 8, and this is The Stranger from the Sea with Morwenna on the cover. This is book 9 in the series, The Miller's Dance, with Dwight Ennis on the cover. He is so gorgeous. Next up is book 10 in the series, The Loving Cup, with Geoffrey Charles on the cover. The 11th book in the series, The Twisted Sword, with Demelza on the cover. And the final book, book 12 in the series, Bella Poldark, with Ross Poldark on the cover. Okay, so after all that Poldarky goodness, you guys, let's move on to the rest of this book haul. I have another Frozen book here, you guys, and this is, what is it called? It's Forest of Shadows by Camilla Benko. And yeah, this is supposed to be some sort of book that takes place in between books, or sorry, movies 1 and 2, but yeah, I think probably closer, you know, because I think there's supposed to be a little bit of a time gap in between movies 1 and 2, but this is like more closer to the time of movie 2, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, I can't wait to get to this. It looks really cute. Next up is Silka's Journey by Heather Morris. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And yeah, this is like her follow-up to The Tattooist of Auschwitz, which I still haven't read, but I do own that. And this is following a young woman who's like 16 years old. She's sent to like the concentration camp of Auschwitz and Birkenau. And yeah, she's like kind of horribly abused, like sexually abused, it sounds like, by like, you know, the camp officials there, the people who are in charge. And I think a lot of this book has to do with the aftermath of her time at the camp and her being put on trial. And yeah, is she kind of a part of some of this stuff, you know, that she was sleeping around with these German men? Was she responsible for some things? It sounds like a story that's going to turn out to be very, very unfair, that she was only doing what she was doing to survive, you know. Next up, I have a book called The German House by Annette Hess, and yeah, as you can see, this is just a very bland, boring copy, because this is an uncorrected proof copy that I won through a Goodreads giveaway, and I'm very excited about this. Yeah, the cover is supposed to look like this. That's what the cover is supposed to look like. They gave me like a little postcard. But yeah, just kind of read you what the synopsis of this is really quickly. This is a novel about Ava Bruns, a young translator working at the 1963 Frankfurt Auschwitz trials. And this takes a lesser-known perspective on the popular genre of World War II fiction. It is set in a booming Germany focused on rebuilding and unwilling to examine its past. Our protagonist, Ava, embodies this dichotomy. She's both hopeful for the future and so ignorant of the past. This only heightens her shame when she learns the truth, one that may implicate her own family. And this does sound awesome, you guys. I do love World War II fiction. Next up, The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern, and this is her follow-up to her very, very popular Night Circus book. I loved The Night Circus. I've been excited for her to write something else. Yeah, this book, you guys, I'm not even quite sure what the hell is going on in this book. Even the plot summary, there is so much going on. And yeah, the cover, oh my goodness, look at the gorgeous freaking cover. But yeah, maybe I'll read a little bit of the synopsis, because yeah, like I said, I'm not really sure what's going on. Far beneath the surface of the earth, upon the shores of the Starless Sea, there is a labyrinthine collection of tunnels and rooms filled with stories. The entryways that lead to this sanctuary are often hidden, sometimes on forest floors, sometimes in private homes, sometimes in plain sight. But those who seek will find. Their doors have been waiting for them. And yeah, it looks like we're following a young man named Zachary Ezra Rollins. He is searching for his door, though he knows. Hold on. And it looks like we're following a young man named Zachary, and he is searching for his door, apparently, though he does not know it. He follows a silent siren song, and yeah, then he discovers a mysterious book at his campus library. Yeah, there's a lot of craziness. Yeah, it's a really long, intricate plot summary, guys. It definitely sounds like some sort of fantasy taking place in both our world and some sort of fantasy world. I don't care. It's by Erin Morgenstern. I've been excited for her to publish something else since The Night Circus, so I definitely cannot wait to get to this. Next up, this is book 2 in the Book of Dust series by Philip Pullman. This is The Secret Commonwealth. And this is part of Philip Pullman's, like, his Dark Materials universe. And the first book was focused on Lyra as a baby and the people who were taking care of her when she was a baby. And yeah, Lyra is like the leading protagonist of his Dark Materials. And yeah, this second book, my understanding is it takes place a number of years after the events of his Dark Materials, following Lyra now as like a grown woman in her 20s. So it seems like this trilogy, the books are not really going to connect in a traditional sense. It seems like we're going to have a lot of hopping around, because like I said, the first book took place before his Dark Materials with Lyra as a baby. This book takes place years after his Dark Materials, so that does kind of leave the third book. When is the third book going to take place? I did read the first book in this series. I really enjoyed it. I definitely can't wait to get to this and see Lyra's story continue and where Philip Pullman is kind of taking her in the world. Up next, The Other Windsor Girl by Georgie Blalock, if I'm pronouncing that name right. And this book is historical fiction focused on Queen Elizabeth II's younger sister, Princess Margaret. I am a huge fan of Princess Margaret, you guys, especially how she's portrayed on the Netflix series The Crown. She was played by Vanessa Kirby for the first couple seasons, and then Helena Bonham Carter for these next couple. Princess Margaret is just so fascinating. She's so troubled. I think she's a very sympathetic historical character, and yeah, I definitely can't wait to get to this. I do love all things like the modern day monarchy. And the last book I have here, The Winter Soldier by Daniel Mason, right? Yeah, Daniel Mason. Yeah, not to be confused with the Marvel movie of the same name, you guys. This is a completely different Winter Soldier. So yeah, this book takes place in Vienna in 1914. Lucius is a young medical student when World War I explodes across Europe. Enraptured by tales of battlefield surgery, he enlists, expecting a position at a well-organized field hospital. But when he arrives at a commandeered church in the mountains, he discovers a freezing outpost ravaged by typhus. The other doctors have fled, and only a single mysterious nurse remains. Oh, and that's all I need, you guys. That is all I need to know about that book. This book sounds very intriguing. So, you guys, that is it for my book haul of these 20 books. In the comments below, have you guys read any of these books? Do you plan on reading any of them? Should some of these I read sooner rather than later? Just let me know your thoughts down below. So that's it for this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you like this video, you may like these other videos. Bye, guys.